and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
Ball into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
Kicking off a Thursday, week 3 of the NFL kicks off tonight. Hi, everybody. Colin Russo here. Joined alongside me is Mike Rizzo. C-Cat, the prolific behind the glass. Finally, it's back. It's Russo and Rizzo live here, ESPN 106.3 at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. We got NFL tonight. The Patriots going on the road, down the street, taking on the Jets, both sitting at 1-1. AL and NL wildcard races heating up. We'll get into some baseball later in the show. Talk to C-Cat a little about his travels. First of all, C-Cat, I'm not going to bring you in the show till second hour. You know the rules. But I'm excited to hear about his adventures in Italy. He did one of those things where he opens an envelope at the airport, and then he goes on a trip.
We confirmed he wasn't on the island with
You were the only one.
John Locke and Ben Linus.
You were the only one who thought he was on the island.
He didn't go to the magical island from the TV show Lost. Okay, just wanted to make sure.
He was wearing a Hawaiian shirt, probably the only person in the entire country of Italy wearing an Italian shirt, but a Hawaiian shirt, excuse me. But nonetheless, we're excited to hear from C-Cat, excited to have him back with the program. Thursday Night Football tonight, new week of football. We got our punchline picks we'll get into a little later as well. We got some interesting picks. Jets tonight. We were talking about maybe taking this game with our punchline pick. Theoretically speaking, he's not taking it, by the way.
Okay, all right, yeah, because I wanted
They love those Thursday night games.
They do, and I wanted to get behind the curtain because I hate taking games that they do. I hate, like, if we have the same pick, if we have the same game, but I could promise you they don't have a game that we took. I don't want to spoil anything, Colin, but I know for a fact they do not have a game that we have.
Front office NFL insider Mike Tannenbaum joining us next segment, so we'll hear from him, get a little bit of an update on the Tua side of things. Bryce Young, plenty to talk about with him. Excited to hear on that realm of things. But nonetheless, Thursday Night Football tonight. Jets pretty heavily favored. They got back on track, winning over the weekend. I think that's the team that you're going to see them, inch forward a little bit week by week, starting to figure themselves out and what their identity is.
Yeah, and I thought that this would take some time with Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers, I think, could get back to the level that he was at the MVP level. I know early on when we were talking about the Jets, I had my questions. And my questions were more or less, you're going from Zach Wilson and the trash heap that played quarterback for the Jets last year to Aaron Rodgers. It's going to take time. It's going to take time for receivers to get on the cadence of Aaron Rodgers. It's going to take time for probably the running game. Breece Hall, they got a lot of new pieces on the offensive line. I was not surprised to see them struggle against the Tennessee Titans, a game in which, you thought they'd be able to take care of business kind of handedly. But I think tonight is a big one because, the Buffalo Bills are 2-0 already. And with Miami having Tua out and the question marks there, all of a sudden, I think this division is a little more open than it was before the start of the season. Going into the season, I thought the Bills and the Dolphins were both cleared of the Jets, with all due respect to the great defense and Salah and Rodgers. And I had the Bills and the Dolphins cleared of the Jets. That's not the case anymore. So big game for New York coming tonight. And I think another big game for the Patriots, who had a chance to go 2-0 on their home field against Seattle, ultimately dropping the ball there at home after the big win against Cincinnati. What are we going to see from Jacoby Brissett? What are we going to see from Coach Gerard Mayo in a pretty good road test? So
I'm more impressed. I think the Jets are going to get more dangerous as the year goes along. And for obvious reasons, the more healthy and the more comfortable you get Rodgers, he is the catalyzing force that will propel you forward throughout the season.
Yeah.
As for the Patriots side of things, they play with guts. A guy, as long as he has the locker room, a Belichick guy. There's the how to survive as a Belichick guy and how to die as a Belichick guy. And how to die, you lose the locker room. That's the Matt Patricia It's the McDaniels. Those are the people that lose the locker room and they don't play hard for you. But if they believe in what you're saying, they believe in your message, they believe in your background, that is where you get that Belichick cloth of they play really tough. They're never an easy out. Defensively, they're going to travel. That's hopefully what Gerard Mayo can continue building off of. He's a former player. He's young. And because of that, I think there's a lot you could see that, they might surprise people tonight.
They surprised me week one. They surprised a
lot
tough,
of people and they played Seattle tough. And they took these frauds before us, theoretically speaking, Theo Dorsey and Chris Cat on their punchline picks. They took Seattle going across the country and covering 3.5. As it turns out, that did not happen. And it was a 3-point finish in overtime. So I think the Patriots are never going to be that easy of an out unless they roll over and die and he loses the locker room. I think that's going to be the key to the castle there. And on the Rodgers side of things, I get Garrett Wilson involved, get more guys on that offense, and stay protected. If he stays off the ground, the Jets are going to be in and around, making sure they're in games. And that's all about Rodgers.
Speaking of Wilson, I obviously like Wilson for selfish reasons, being a Buckeye. They need to get him, he needs a 10-catch game, I think. I know last game, 4 receptions, 57 yards. We saw on Monday Night Football, they went to him on that first drive. On that first drive on Monday Night Football, I think he had 5 receptions for close to 60 yards, and then they went to him 2 more times after that. The talk before the year was, Wilson finally has a franchise quarterback. Wilson finally has a quarterback that's going to put him to that Pro Bowl level. We're yet to see it, and we're kind of 2 weeks in here. I think Jet fans would be at ease if Garrett Wilson finds the end zone tonight. I really do. I think it would put a lot of Jets fans at ease if you see a 250, 300-yard passing game from Aaron Rodgers with a plethora of touchdowns and 1 to Wilson. On the year, 10 receptions, 117 yards. That's a game. That's a game to Justin Jefferson. Maybe not the 10 catches part, but certainly the yards. So Nathaniel Hackett, Aaron Rodgers, whoever you want to put under the microscope here, they got to get something going offensively. They got to prove not only the Jet fans, but they got to prove to themselves that this wasn't just a bunch of kibosh that they talked about in the offseason. This is a real offense that people should be afraid of. I haven't seen it.
The 1-1 Jets at home looking to defend their home field against the Patriots tonight, also sitting at 1-1. That is on Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime. Catch that tonight. That was Mike Rizzo talking. Colin Russo here, Christian Cat joining us behind the glass. The thing about Rodgers really quickly before we head to break and talk to Mike Tannenbaum next segment is Rodgers loves having a guy. And it cut from sort of the Brady style of things where if he has his guy, he's going to go to him frequently. And it's clear that he likes Lazard, and it's clear that he likes Garrett Wilson. So I'm not worried about his contribution. I think it's really just a ticking bomb in waiting for Wilson to heavily get involved in that offense. But think about his Green Bay career. Greg Jennings for a year or two. He was heavily involved in Robert Tonyan a couple times. Donald Driver, Jordy Nelson, Devontae Adams towards the latter half of his Green Bay career. Rodgers has his guy, and he's big on the confidence and the camaraderie between the receiver and the quarterback. And if he doesn't trust you, he's not going to you. So Wilson is clearly somebody that he is fond of early on.
What about Hackett, Colin? I have questions about Hackett.
Rodgers likes him. And that team is Aaron Rodgers.
Rodgers
is bigger on that team.
Is that a problem, though?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Not at the moment. And I know he doesn't have LaFleur, and there's questions about that. But if Rodgers likes him, Rodgers will know if he doesn't, that's not going to work out. So maybe it doesn't. I don't think everybody's terribly afraid of the Jets based on what they've seen the first 2 weeks, but they're going to get more and more dangerous as the year rolls along. We'll talk to Mike Tannenbaum, NFL Insider, talk about a little Bryce Young and the decision-making behind benching him and what he thinks from a front office perspective will happen on the Carolina side of things. We'll talk about a plethora of more things. Mike Tannenbaum joining the program next. You listen to Russo and Rizzo live here, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hey, it's Josh Cohen for the Accident Attorneys, Anajar and Levine. Car accidents, truck accidents, slip and fall, trip and fall. Did you get injured on the job? Workers' comp problems? My friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine, they will fight for you. Remember, they do not get paid unless you get paid, and they will fight to get you the maximum compensation you know you deserve. Here's what you do. You just call. Call Anajar and Levine for your absolutely free consultation. Do not settle for just any attorneys. Demand Anajar and Levine, and demand the Anajar and Levine difference. It takes just one phone call to begin to take back control of your life. So do that. Take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-FREE. 1-800-747-3733. Anajar and Levine, accident attorneys. Take back control of your life.
Good Greek moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
It's the Good Greek Spiro. For the best move ever, go to goodgreek.com.
Good Greek moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
Gentlemen, good news, bad news. Let's do bad news first. Get that out of the way. Bad news. The supplements you see on TV with the free trial, your testosterone's going to replace it. They don't work. If they did, the multi-billion-dollar industry of testosterone replacement wouldn't have to exist. But thank God it does. And thank God for Andrologics West Palm Beach, treating and beating low T for over 20 years, improving the lives of thousands of men just like me, just like you. This is science, not promise. I'm talking about improved performance from the boardroom to the bedroom. Your body chemistry is as unique as your fingerprint. There's no one-size-fits-all solution that works for everybody. The best part is their doctors custom-designed testosterone replacement for you, and it's shipped right to your door. Everything to look, feel, perform better, like your mid-late 20s on. Gentlemen, get it back. It's never too late. If you start now, you'll be grateful. Don't wait any longer. Go online to andrologics.com. That's ANDROLOGIX.com. Again, ANDROLOGIX.com. Andrologics West Palm Beach, because experience matters.
With NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV, you can watch every game, every Sunday, all in one place. Which means you can watch the Dolphins, and the Broncos, and the Lions, and the Cowboys, and the Jets. Or whoever you're rooting for, all in your living room. But not literally, of course. That would be dangerous. Watch every game, every Sunday with NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV. Sign up at youtube.com/NFLST. Local and national games on YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games excludes digital-only games.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, it's your boy JC. Why the latest Tua update is actually worse than expected. And it's not because he's going to the IR. We explain on today's brand new Questionable Call with Josh Cohen. Subscribe now on YouTube. Questionable Call with Josh Cohen. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Bryce Young officially benched by the Carolina Panthers. Andy Dalton will be taking his place as the starting quarterback for the Week 3 matchup this week. Russo and Rizzo live here, ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo. Christian Cat help us out behind the glass. Want to welcome in, Theo Dorsey getting his comeback. Want to welcome in ESPN NFL insider Mike Tannenbaum, former executive vice president of football operations for the Dolphins and former Jets GM. Mike, how you doing today? What's going on?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are we doing?
Excellent. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you for joining us early in the show. I want to start pressing need this week. A big story was head coach Dave Canales of the Carolina Panthers officially benching Bryce Young, former number 1 overall pick. Played about 16 games. Played about 18, 20 games. And then Canales decides to move on, in a sense, to Dalton. You don't know what his plan is for that. From your perspective, I mean, this is sort of an unprecedented move at this point in the year. What's your takeaway on it? And what do you really ultimately think Canales' headspace is, and what's his plan?
Yeah, look, I think it's disappointing. You know, when you take a player, you know, the quarterback position, guys, is a developmental position. We're seeing that with Baker Mayfield, Geno Smith, and Sam Darnold. It doesn't happen overnight. And he didn't play a lot in the preseason. This is his third head coach, and I don't know. Like to me, like you're making a referendum on a player, 18 games into a very short time in his career. So I was disappointed. That's not to say that he's going to be a great player, but I just think the timing just really falls short from an organization standpoint.
Mike, do you think this is a move where the Panthers are ready to move on? Or could we buy him at face value of, hey, we don't plan on trading him? There was a report today, by the way, they're not considering trading him. Are you buying that, or do you think his time in Carolina is done?
Yeah, no, I think it's just looking at necessity, guys. Week 3, it's amazing what's going on, right? Sorry, my Bluetooth dropped. It's amazing what's going on. Like when you look at Malik Willis has played in the game, you know, what's happened in Green Bay and Pittsburgh, obviously Minnesota. So it's a long season. So I don't think it's a death sentence. I think he's a high character kid, and hopefully he'll make the best of, you know, sitting behind Dalton and see, you know, he'll get another opportunity, whether it's in Carolina or someplace else.
Mike Tannenbaum, NFL insider, joining Russo and Rizzo now. Mike, we didn't get your thoughts on it. I know it's sort of old news, but it is new news that Tua Tagovailoa, the Miami Dolphins quarterback, is officially placed on IR with concussion, and it has been clarified that he will be coming back at some point this year when the doctors deem it is healthy enough. He is healthy enough to do that. I wanted to get your takeaway on that. With the concussions, this is concussion number 4, if you want to call it. It could be number 5. Mike McDaniel downplaying it, playing it safe, cards close to the chest, doesn't want to make the same mistake as 2022. But as a general manager, somebody who has to make decisions like this, especially after signing him to $250 million, what is Tua? Is it about the money? Is it about the football at this point? And do you think it's ultimately safe for him to return to play?
Yeah, you know, I said this on ESPN. I think the right decision was certainly, you know, to put him on IR, because this way, you know, he can, most importantly, get healthy, take his time, do it under the radar where no one has to answer a question each week. And then I think this has to be, you know, a personal decision and a data-driven one. You know, what do the experts say? How high of a risk for a re-injury? So I think you need a lot more information. If there's any good news that comes out of this from a Dolphin perspective is it's early in the season, so obviously they'll know a lot more, you know, by the end of the season, you know, than they know today.
Mike, can Skylar Thompson manage things while Tua's out?
Oh boy, I really don't know. That's a pretty good Seattle team that he's going to be going up and playing. So, you know, there's ways to win games, guys, where your quarterback doesn't have to be an A. And they can do that. They certainly have enough firepower on offense for, you know, things like run after catch, but it just greatly reduces the margin for error. And in a perfect world, when you have an inexperienced quarterback playing for the first time, you'd rather be playing at home than, you know, on the road in those conditions.
Mike, what's your takeaway on declining quarterback play statistically throughout the NFL? Is it more of a coordinator thing? Have defenses caught up? Touchdown passes nearly cut in half through week 2 from 2019 to today. Are we losing a bit of the Hall of Fame caliber quarterbacks? What is ultimately the reason, the catalyst for on surface level declining quarterback play throughout the league?
Yeah, Colin, I'm really glad you asked me. There's been a lot made of this. I think there's a few fundamental things going on here. You know, I was screaming from the rooftops in August that Aaron Rodgers should be playing. You know, Kirk Cousins should be playing. Look at them on opening day against Pittsburgh and San Francisco. They were terrible. And if you guys had a really important broadcast that really was meaningful for the ratings and, you know, the outcome of your professional lives, I don't think you would take the 30 days before then and do nothing. And that's really, let's cut it through it. Like, not playing games, like, it matters. So I think that's part of it. I put something else out on Twitter before that I found interesting. You know, Coach Parcells always had a great line, which is the NFL really puts out, and what we play with on Sunday comes from what happens on Saturdays. And if you go over, like, the last, you know, dozen years, you know, air yards per pass attempt, meaning how far the ball's in the air before it's caught, is down almost like a yard per throw, like when you look at someone like Baker Mayfield compared to Caleb Williams. So first pick overall to first pick overall, it's a different game in college. And we're just seeing a manifestation of that at this level, guys, because, you know, at the end of the day, the players and coaches, that's where they're coming from. Now, I do think there's room in our sport for meaningfully more, shots down the field, play action, get under center. I think there's room for that. I think we'll see that more, as, the year goes on.
Mike, how much does the decline in play at the quarterback position have to do with the double high safety?
Yeah, that's BS. I mean, I saw that. That's nothing. I mean, come on. It's not even the most popular defensive call. So, look, I was on teams. We would pray that teams would play cover 2. We'd run the ball every snap and take 5 yards.
Right.
Like, that's just strategy, guys. And, the good offensive callers, like, if someone's in, playing cover 2, which is 7-man spacing, that means there's going to be spaces. It's just physics in the run game. And that's what's great about football, guys. It's chess on grass. So you can pull out one stat and say, here's the impact of it. But if playing against Tom Brady for the better part of my career, our goal each week simply was make him make post-snap decisions, make him hold the ball and try to disguise. If you're playing cover 2, most good NFL coordinators, they'll run it, and they'll win a lot of games because you're going to score, you're going to control the clock, you're going to keep your defense off the field. So I don't put much stock into that at all.
Is there an offensive coaching deficiency? You were talking about how Baker Mayfield has found success in his 3rd and 4th stop. You mentioned other guys too. Sam Darnold, Derek Carr's finally seeing some success. Guys like Malik Willis even saw a week-long success in Green Bay. Some of these guys in their 3rd, 4th stop, people kind of wrote them off a little bit. All of a sudden seeing early and meaningful contribution to their new teams. Is that a testament to, it needs to be a perfect marriage between offensive coaches, or is it utilizing skill sets of quarterbacks better? Or is it really just some guys get lucky and in the right spot at the right time?
Hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. What's your takeaway on that? Did you catch the question, Mike? Mike Tannenbaum.
We lost Mike.
We lost Mike Tannenbaum. Bad cell service.
It's Colin, your question is fascinating in a sense of, Kevin O'Connell, offensive guy, having success with Sam Darnold. Baker Mayfield had a lot of success with Canales, which got him a head coaching job in Carolina. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying on that, and I think maybe we do have a deficiency in guys who actually know how to call plays. It's why I love a head coach and play caller. I've had this take for years, Kyle. I'm interested to hear what you think of it. If I'm looking for a head coach, I want to find the next Andy Reid. We all do, right? I want to find the next Kyle Shanahan. I want to find the next O'Connell, a head coach play caller that really is offensively sound, knows what he wants to do, knows his fundamental kind of philosophy on offense to where he could bring in the guys he wants. I thought it was funny in the preseason. I was like, look out for Sam Darnold this year. I go, guys, why are we doing this same song and dance with Sam Darnold? I was not a believer in it. 2 weeks in, he looks like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Is it the right system?
I think there's something to be said about Mike Tannenbaum back with us. Mike, you cut out there. Sorry about that. But did you catch my question from before?
Yeah, I did. And sorry about that, guys.
Don't worry.
You're fine, Mike.
Question. Yeah, it's a good question, guys. I actually think it goes to the head coach. You look at Mike Tomlin and the physicality. He runs a camp, Andy Reid, and look how those teams started. They're playing a different sport. And I do think, Todd Monken learned coming from the University of Georgia. And I think that offense is going to evolve in, Baltimore, where they're dealing with 3 offensive linemen. Unfortunately, their offensive line coach passed away just a couple of weeks ago. So absolutely, McCarthy gets a lot of, criticism, some justified or not, but they're always able to run the ball, certainly in Green Bay, Dallas. That sets up a really good play action game. So I think getting under center, play action will actually help some of the explosiveness that we're missing right now early in the season.
Mike, if you were tasked with finding a head coach in the NFL, would you go the head coach play caller route?
No, I want a leader of men. And, I've been around 2 of the all-time best. I work for Coach Parcells. I work for Bill Belichick, and they develop players. They held coaches accountable. They were fastidious in their attention to detail and, develop coaches, players, and staff. That's most important. I think Dave Canales maybe one day, in another situation may be a good head coach, but they just had the wrong job description, guys. They brought in a guy to coach one player. He's not qualified to be an NFL coach. Like, if you look at his background, he just doesn't have the experience. And I think the way some of these teams candidly are defining what the job is, you're seeing the results accordingly. I mean, look at the experience that John Harbaugh has and, coach special teams, coach multiple positions on defense. I think that matters. And I think when you look at some of the successful hires we've seen at the NFL level, really correlates to people that have experience, have coached, more than one position.
Mike Tannenbaum, ESPN NFL Insider, joining us now. Mike, I want to shift gears a little bit to the injuries in the NFL and the prevalence of them that we have seen through 2 weeks only. I feel like we talk about this every year, and maybe it's a different year, same song. But I feel like this year more than others, we have seen just such a high proximity injuries. This 49er Ram game, it's on Sunday, and we already know that McCaffrey, Kupp, Nakua, Debo, Kittle, Avila, Jonah Jackson are all not playing. What would you attribute some of this injury stuff to? Is it alluding back to your point about the preseason? Is it the fields? Is it a mix and match of everything? Are the guys just bigger, stronger, faster than they've ever been? What's your takeaway on that?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a one-size-fits-all approach on that, guys, but it is sad, right? We want to see Christian McCaffrey out there. We want to see Jordan Love out there. Some of these are orthopedic issues. Jordan Love, like, his injury was a freak injury, right? Like, that's just going to happen when we're playing football. Whereas, maybe some of these other injuries are due to, conditioning. And again, like, I just don't believe in getting your team ready to play by not playing your players in preseason. Like, the data doesn't support it. So, look, hopefully these guys will get back sooner than later. Tua is a really unique situation. But now, you look at that 49er Ram game, no Deebo Samuel either. And that's not good for the sport. So I think it's a little bit of everything, a little bad luck, and a little bit of a bad plan.
Mike, what's been the most significant injury in the NFL so far?
Well, the easy one to me would be J.J. McCarthy. First time in the history of our sport that a first-round quarterback had a season-ending preseason injury. And look, I know Sam Darnold is off to, a really good start, and let's hope that continues for the Vikings. But J.J. McCarthy, to me, really has a chance to be a really good difference-making quarterback, and we're not going to see that this year, and that's going to affect some of these races.
Wow, high in J.J. McCarthy. Interesting. Mike, last thing before we let you go, staying in that division, Caleb Williams in Chicago getting banged around a little bit, that offensive line not giving him too much time, and ultimately there's a two-pronged question. Number one, did they make a mistake not going offensive line with that second first-round pick? And I know it's a little early to make any sort of declaration on Caleb Williams, but what do you think they're doing wrong offensively?
Yeah, I don't think anything. I think it's just going to take some time. He's a young player. He has a really bad tendency to escape the pocket backwards. He did that a lot at USC. He's already been sacked, I believe, 9 times, which is just too many. And he'll learn. He's really talented. He cares deeply. He's got to learn how to check the ball down, and he's not going to hit a home run on every play. And I think it's just going to take some time to work out of him.
How good's that defense, Mike?
Well, they're third in the league on third down defense. Their pass rush is a concern, but they're keeping them in games right now. So that's how you want to build it. You want to be able to run the ball, which they should be able to do with DeAndre Swift, play good team defense, and bring along a young quarterback. I think we got a little spoiled last year with C.J. Stroud, guys. That's really the exception to the rule.
Yeah. All right, I lied. One last question. Is Doug Peterson a dead man walking in that job?
I would say they haven't lived up to expectations yet. I think there's still some time here. I put some of this really on Trevor Lawrence. You watch a guy like Aaron Rodgers, he made a big play on a hard count in the San Francisco game, got a big explosive. Trevor Lawrence, you never see him do any of those nuances, the little things yet. And at some point, Trevor Lawrence is making $55 million a year. He was the first pick overall, guys. He's got to play better. And, sure, some of it you can put on the coach, but I also put some of it, on Trevor Lawrence.
Mike, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, Davis Mills. That's the 2021 NFL quarterbacks that got drafted. Who's going to have the best career?
I'm still going with Trevor Lawrence. the tools are too good to ignore. But it's getting late early, and they had a chance to go away the Dolphins on opening day. And credit the Dolphins, they were very competitive after Javon Holland knocked that ball out, with Travis Etienne. But you want to be an A player, Trevor Lawrence, go on the road, beat a good team, make some second half throws. That's what it's going to take. I think he has that ability. Now he has to get it done.
Yeah.
How about those quarterbacks, though, guys?
Hey, the quarterbacks are a mess. And, Mike, you're right on Trevor Lawrence. As a Jags fan myself, I'm not as high on him at the moment. I'm also not high on Peterson and the camaraderie in there. But nonetheless, I appreciate you joining us as always. Great job, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, Mike T.
All right, thank you, guys. Really appreciate it.
You got it. That was Mike Tannenbaum, FL insider, former executive vice president of football operations for the Miami Dolphins, and former general manager, for the New York Jets. Mike and I got to give our punchline picks, see how we're going to line up against Theoretically Speaking.
I'm
next.
ready, baby.
Hang around. It should be a fun one. ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
ESPN 106.3 is presented by Rubenstein Law. 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Car accident, truck accident, Uber or Lyft accident, or a slip and fall. Call Rubenstein Law. Call 1-800-FL-LEGAL and visit one of our offices throughout Florida.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks to help grow businesses, communities, families. A legacy of capability and technology that has made Ford F-Series America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2023 calendar year total sales.
Good people, it's me, Theo Dorsey, and I want to make sure you're locked in with us at Theoretically Speaking. Just hop on YouTube, search @Theo Speaking, and hit that subscribe button. You can watch us live or you can play us back at Theo Speaking on YouTube. It's free.
Sports fans, it's the best time of the year. It's fall when everything is happening. Football's back. Fighting gets real. Baseball playoffs. Get ahead of the action. Plan your time now to be at Twin Peaks, the ultimate guys lodge, the ultimate sports lodge. Never ever a cover to watch any fights, any MMA, UFC, or boxing pay-per-views. Always watch for free. Of course, the eats, the drinks, the signature scenic views, and of course, Twin Peaks 29-degree ice-cold beer made from scratch favorites like their burgers, wings, mozzarella bites, and so much more. Happy hour weekdays. Take advantage of $5 man-sized drafts. And remember, never ever pay a cover to watch any of the fights. Your official UFC fight headquarters is your official football headquarters all week long, all season long. Eats, drinks, scenic views, 29-degree beers. Twin Peaks, the ultimate guys lodge for everything sports.
These days, everything seems so expensive. Food, clothes even. So let's think long-term real quick. Wouldn't you rather be driving around in a fuel-efficient new Kia from Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach? I mean, that could save you mucho dinero back in your pocket right now. Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach is under construction and overstocked, so they are making deals that other dealers won't like. Brand new 24 Kia Fortes for only $99 a month, plus 0% APR financing is available. And they want your old car. Get up to $6,000 over Kelly Blue Book fair market value for any trade. So what are you waiting for? Get to Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach today. Call 800-NEW-KIAs or visit online at greenwaykiawestpalmbeach.com. Qualified applicants through KMF. 24-month lease, $24.99 due at signing. 10,000 miles per year. Security deposit waived, plus tax, tag, and $9.99 admin fee. Negative equity refinanced. Discount includes all factory rebates to dealer. Offers don't combine. Expires 11/5/24.
We want to see ya in a Greenway Kia.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
On the baseball side of things, really quickly, the Minnesota Twins blew another one in extras to the Cleveland Guardians. They lose three. They lose 3 out of 4 as they are slipping in that wild card race. On the AL side of things, they are in utter collapse at the moment. They dropped to 80 and 73. They're now 10 and 20 since mid-August. Wow. Creeping back in on the AL is Detroit, who has Baltimore this weekend. We'll get into some baseball stuff second hour of the show. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat helping us out behind the glass. We'll hear from him in about 20 minutes. But it's Russo and Rizzo live here, ESPN 106.3 at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. So our Punchline Picks, for those who do not know, is a competition that, theoretically speaking, the show 2 to 4 weekdays with Theo Dorsey and Christian Cat, they are competing against Mike and I for 6 picks a week. We usually do 3 college and 3 NFL with 1 lock. And each game is worth a point except for the lock, which is worth 2. We are tracking it throughout the year, and the winning team will get to watch the losing team do stand-up comedy. And whether they're going to write jokes, we're going to write the losers' jokes, or whatever it may be, all we know is that when, theoretically speaking, loses, it's going to be ugly. And we will have a front row seat.
And the rumor is, and Colin has an interesting take on this, the rumor is that CCAT is personally trying to throw the competition because he wants to do the gambling. But Colin, you gotta.
It's stupid. If you're gonna throw a gambling thing against the spread, this is not money line. If you're throwing it, you got to be a good gambler because it's basically the opposite. If you want to win,
you're calling. Are you calling CCAT
a phony? Yeah, a phony gambler. I am, and as King's English as I could possibly say.
I am.
There is no chance he knows what's going on well enough on the betting side of things. He's no Fat Jack at FatJackSports.com. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'll tell you that too. CCAT, I know we're talking to you in hour number 2, but I am currently trying to trademark phony and fraud for Colin. I'm working on that.
Noted.
I'm working on that.
Hey, we will speak to you in the second hour, my friend. That was Christian Cat.
Yeah, he's back from vacation. Now, I hear he's got a Colin, I heard he's going to come at my neck a little bit. That's the rumor.
Now, there's our tease for second hour.
The rumor is that he's going to come at my neck a little bit.
There's our tease. Nonetheless, Mike, we got 6 picks on the week. Let's make a formal announcement. Let's end with the lock. So, okay. Mike, you take it away.
All right. So, folks, as Colin alluded to, we like taking 3 college and 3 NFL. I kind of brought this up because if we struggle in college, I want to be able to make it back up in the NFL. Like, say if we struggle with our college picks, we have all Sunday to win our next 3. So here are our college picks. This is mine. Oklahoma State -2.5. I am big on Mike Gundy and the Cowboys this weekend in Stillwater. Now, Colin almost made me have a heart attack when he told me that Cam Rising could be playing. But then at the same time,
with a severed hand.
Exactly. Yes. And we both realized, wait a minute here. He's got a lot working against him. But I like Oklahoma State. I like their quarterback, Ollie Gordon III. Is one of the best rushers in the country. We're going with the Cowboys -2.5 at home.
Now, the one thing about Utah is if Cam Rising does not play, their backup is Isaac Wilson. Who is Isaac Wilson? The brother of Zach Wilson. And there's something to be said about how bad Wilson is in the NFL. But Zach Wilson playing in Utah is a different animal.
It's in Stillwater, baby.
Yeah,
it's
that's true.
In Stillwater, baby.
For a Utah team is what I was getting at. BYU, Utah. When he's got the Mormons on his back, there's something there. And whether that's like some mojo.
Are you trying to jinx our pick, partner?
Mojo, voodoo, whatever the Wilsons got going for them when the Mormons are there. That is just something to be noted.
Well, guess what? I got some Cowboys on the ridge that'll, be able to take care of business. So we got Oklahoma State -2.5.
Oklahoma State.
Yeah, in Stillwater. -2.5 in Stillwater. Next, this was a consensus pick. Colin and I both agreed on this. Toledo -2.5. Colin, start the countdown, baby.
We're back.
We're firing the rockets. The Maction. Let's go. The Maction, -2.5 of Colorado. Folks, if you've been following our program, you know that we have been taking MAC games. Fat Jack has made $1,000 off of our MAC picks. Toledo is fresh off winning a big game at Mississippi State, 42-17. They will be taking on Western Kentucky. Now, Western got absolutely eviscerated by Alabama week 1. But, Colin, you pointed out they
bounced back a bit.
They kind of bounced back. But, listen, if you could go to an SEC opponent and win by more than 3 touchdowns, you should be able to take care of the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers.
Now, let's hope there's no hangover game.
Right.
That was what will kill us. But we've been hot so far on the MAC side of things. Toledo is our pick.
Yeah.
On the road.
Houston, we don't have a problem because we're going with the Rockets, baby.
Like it. That's Toledo. That's our pick. Now, this one's the fun one.
All right.
Go ahead.
Full disclosure, I agreed on it, so I'm completely fine with the pick. But my partner, Colin Russo, looked at me and said, Riz, got to pick Hawaii. Now, Colin, I'll give you the table here to explain the madness, but we went with the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors -8 at home.
So here's the thing about Hawaii. If you call it what you want, that is a home field advantage of all home field advantages. You got to go to Honolulu to play a game? What? They're playing Northern Iowa. How is Northern Iowa just I would be surprised if they were chartered planes. How do they get there? They go from Northern Iowa, are they going east to Chicago and then going from Chicago to Honolulu? Are they going in somewhere in Nebraska, then going to San Francisco to Honolulu? Or are they going to get chartered? I'd be surprised if Northern Iowa gets a chartered jet. But nonetheless, they have to travel. What? Go ahead.
Hawaii is 69-5 against the spread at home since 2003.
That is the ultimate home field advantage. Northern Iowa, here's the thing about Hawaii. They're 1-2. But the one game they've won, or actually, no, they're 1-1.
No, they're 1-2. They lost Sam Houston. They lost UCLA.
They lost UCLA
Delaware.
at home, but UCLA, it's like a 5-hour plane ride.
But Colin, UCLA is terrible. They're one of the worst programs in the country.
UCLA's in the Big Ten. Northern Iowa's sitting at 2-1, but they've basically played, high school teams in the area could probably hang with the teams that Northern Iowa has beaten. So I ultimately think that Hawaii. What's the spread on that one? Is it 7?
8. It's 8, according to Hard Rock Bet. -8.
It's a large spread. But Northern Iowa, I think, is interesting. Northern Iowa, they've played Valpo 35-7. They won that one.
Gar.
St. Thomas, Minnesota. Is that even a Division I school? They won that one 17-10. And they got killed in Lincoln, Nebraska last week, 34-3. Putting them on, Frontier Air to connect through Denver to San Francisco to Honolulu, forget it. That is an easy cover. Hawaii -8.
I am banking. We are putting our bacon on Brady Shagger.
Midnight kickoff on Sunday morning. So
listen.
Set the alarms.
Brady Shagger is the quarterback for Hawaii. He's 63 for 118. He's got a completion percentage of 53.4, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 682 yards passing.
Their leading rusher has 77 yards.
God, Colin. What did I sign up for?
Air
Moves like Shagger.
raid. You're talking too much. We'll talk to you in the second hour, C-Cat. 77 yards on the ground. That was for Landon Sims.
What in the hell did you sign us up for?
Home field advantage. Good luck traveling on commercial and trying to hang with Hawaii. Give us Hawaii on that one.
All right. Well, those are our college picks. Once again, folks, we have the Oklahoma State Cowboys -2.5. We have the Toledo Rockets -2.5. We have Hawaii -8. So we like a lot of favorites in college football over the weekend. All right. It's time to move on to the big one, the National Football League. 3 games for you guys here. And I open up the curtain a little bit. Colin and I agreed on one game specifically, and it's our lock, so we're going to save that for last. But the games we didn't pick, I liked Cleveland at home. Against the Giants. And
I have a feeling the Giants are going to compete in that one. And what is that spread? 7?
6.5.
Yeah.
6.5.
The Cowboys have muddied up. I mean, Cleveland's going to muddy up that game if they want a chance at winning. I don't know. I can see the Giants
that's fine.
And
yeah, but just opening up the curtain a little bit more, I also like the Bears +1.5 on the road at Indianapolis. I thought defense traveled. With that said, let's get into our picks that we did agree on. We have Houston -2.5. Houston -2.5. And our intern, Ashley, she's a big Houston Texan fan. She was with us when we were making the picks. Texans at Vikings.
It's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
We have a really good game.
We have Houston -2.5. I'm banking on C.J. Stroud. And Colin, you brought up the fact that maybe this is finally the down week for the Vikings.
And whether it's a down week or not, I have a feeling that, coming off a win against San Francisco, maybe the vibe around Minnesota is that we've exceeded our expectations a little bit. Whereas on the other side of things, Houston is sort of expecting to build off of these wins. They won ugly last week against Chicago. They got that out of the way.
Yeah.
We know how explosive they are. We know how good that defense is, especially getting after the quarterback. You pressure Darnold a little bit. San Francisco was banged up, and they still took advantage of it. So I ultimately think Houston, if they stay healthy and if Stroud shows up to play and doesn't get fooled by Brian Flores' defense, I think that will be the key to the game.
And I'm going to piggyback off of what you just said. C.J. Stroud doesn't turn the ball over. Now, famous announcer jinx, right? And I'm wearing the Buckeye hat. It would be perfect for him to, throw 3 interceptions because I'm jinxing him. Because of Stroud, because of the Texans, I think, camaraderie as a team, too. What were the talks before the year? Stephon Diggs is going to go there and blow a gasket and lose his mind. They've done a great job of incorporating him into the team culture. I tip my cap to DeMeco Ryans. I love this pick. 2.5, Texans on the road, Vikings coming down to earth. And also JJ got hurt. JJ went to the locker room last Sunday. Even if he does play, and then I'm completely shooting from the hip here, I need to look at the injury report. I'm assuming he's going to play.
I think his plan was to play.
But we'll see. Is he going to be the same Justin Jefferson after the injury, Colin? Moving on to our next game. We have Green Bay plus 2.5. We have Green Bay plus 2.5 on the road. Now, it's a revenge. I kind of sold Colin on this one in a sense of it's a revenge game, right? You got Malik Willis. Now, Jordan Love might play, all right? I understand that.
That's my perspective. It's more of a value pick from that.
And for me, worst case scenario, Malik Willis starts, Colin, and it's a revenge game in Tennessee.
Or if it comes out on Saturday that Love is probable, that line's going to get bigger.
Right.
So ultimately I think you're getting some value here, and all they got to do is win by a field goal. And the Packers have after that first week 1 loss, they're not in like the 2-0. They could drop a game. They could afford it at this point. They can't drop to 1-2. They got to win this game. And they're playing on an easier schedule right now. They know they got to convert before the schedule really muddies up in the second half of the year with all the divisional play. So from that perspective, I like the Packers there. And they played great last week.
Yeah, and speaking of, the Bears aren't the same old Bears anymore. I understand they're inept on offense right now. I don't think anyone wants to go up against that defense. I love that take. All right, you ready for our lock?
Our guys.
Now listen, all right? I got to stand up for this one. I need Dave Druda to get the cannon in the back, all right? Because our lock is Tampa Bay, and I need the cannons. Give me that one more time. I need the cannons firing, baby. Where's Druda? Let's go. We got the Buccaneers minus 6.5.
We should have taken them last week, and we didn't. That was a mistake.
Very much so.
We should have taken them last week, but Tampa Bay is our guys. Like Mike Tannenbaum said last segment, highest yards per completion in the league with Baker Mayfield. They got guys all over the field. They play tough. They travel well. They're at home. The Broncos absolutely stink. This is a great pick.
Great pick. What, Bo Nix is going to go into the pirate ship and put up in a performance? Hell no. Druda, grab the cannons. Let's go. Tampa Bay 6.5.
Now, as long as they don't have a bit of like a slowdown week after beating Detroit on the road.
Slowdown week?
Okay.
They got Baker, man. We're Baker bros. Let's go.
I like the pick. I'm okay with it.
We're Baker bros, Kyle.
It's got to be our lock. Those are our guys. They've done us well once before, and they're not going to let us down again. That's my take on that. I like this.
I like our picks. I think this is our best slate yet. I really do.
God.
I think this is our best slate yet.
Be careful here. Be careful.
Now, Colin, I gotta say, Hawaii is the one I'm worried about.
I like this.
Hawaii is the one.
And listen, I'll tell you right now, I am not watching that game.
Oh, I'll be up. I'll be up.
I'll set an alarm for around 2:45, 3 o'clock, and then I will check the score, see if there's a meaningful fourth quarter I have to tune in for.
I opening up the curtain a little bit. I am calling Kaiser Seahawk football this year. I'm going to be on the color commentary. I can't wait to get going with Miles Russ, new head coach and defending champs, the Kaiser Seahawks. See, I'm going to be up until about 10, 10:30. I'll probably get home from the game. I'm staying up. I got EAFC 25. Shout out to all my FC 25 players. We're going to be up watching this game, man. I'm going to be texting you. You better listen. I hope you put your phone on D&D when you go to bed, because I'm going to be texting you.
I'm going to be setting an alarm. And Hawaii, home field advantage. Imagine Northern Iowa there. So they're going to end that game at 3:30, 4 o'clock local time. They're going to have to get on a plane and fly. Probably commercial. First of all, there's no plane.
You love this commercial.
They gotta go to the airport and wait for the first flight out of Honolulu, which will be at 6 or 7 in the morning. So they gotta wait. They're all they're sleeping on their bags at the airport, and I'm not dealing with it. And there's no way that Northern Iowa is getting a charter jet. Maybe CCAT can look that up and see if their Northern Iowa football gets a charter jet.
No chance.
No chance.
No chance. I don't even think their basketball team is what they're known for.
You got something there?
I want side action this week. I guarantee that, theoretically speaking, wipes the floor with Russo and Rizzo in this Week 3 picks in the NFL season.
Beginning of the second hour, I want to get your picks, and we'll react live. I don't know what your picks are.
Let's go. Shots fired.
We don't need to do this now. It's a little early for CCAT to get involved.
Shots fired. Where's Druda? Bring in the cannon, Dave.
CCAT, of course, since it's second hour and he can't speak yet, I'll tell you what CCAT has been up to.
Well, he's already wearing open-toed sandals, so he's already
CCAT strolls in here smelling like a wet dog.
Literally.
Smelled
like crap.
At around midday.
The hell have you been?
Midday. Don't even think about turning on your mic. That midday, CCAT turns in, and you could see the green stench coming from his shoulders. And he comes in with sandals, which is he was just
appalling.
a 23.
Honest to God,
a
appalling.
23-hour travel day. CCAT was in Amalfi Coast. He travels back. He connects to Istanbul, Turkey.
Don't put your foot
Gets
down.
to Miami. Travels from Miami north up to here in West Palm Beach. And instead of going home and taking a 9-10 minute shower to make sure that he's presentable walking in today, instead he decides to just take off his shoes and socks, claim that they're smelly, and put on some sandals. And now all of a sudden we get to reap the benefit of his odor stinking up. Poor Ashley is in the production room with him.
Seriously.
Probably, or eyes watering.
Disgusting. And I told you, Colin, my nose. Okay, it's my.
I don't have the acute to smell like Mike Rizzo does.
That's my supernatural ability. I mean, you open up that door.
So CCAT comes in after a 30-hour. I think this is unethical.
God,
this is unethical.
I mean,
This is an HR violation.
Also, a male wearing open-toed sandals.
See,
to me
that's
is
a
already
weird thing to complain about. I'm more complaining about the idea that after 30 hours travel, he decides to stroll in
and
here
not shower.
And basically a biohazard and a chemical bomb coming into the office. And the ventilation's not great in here. I think
it
we
already
have rats.
stinks. It already stinks in here.
We already have rats, so we're going to attract more rodents.
Yeah, seriously. Oh
my goodness.
Stinks, Kyle. Mingia.
CCAT coming back from Amalfi Coast. He did one of those things where he goes the blind travel, where he just shows up to the airport and he opens an envelope, and then all of a sudden he's got a nonstop to Seattle.
And he's missing a kidney. And he's missing a kidney on his way home. I mean, what in the...
I want to hear from him next. We'll get to the 5 at 5 and more. It's Russo and Rizzo live here, ESPN 106.3.
Hi, I'm Michael Manzo, owner and founder of Manzo's Italian Deli, and
Stop, Dad. After 20 years, people are tired of hearing your voice.
Yeah, and your lame-ass commercials.
Fresh prosciutto, mozzarella, outstanding.
Oh, please.
There's only one reason Manzo's is voted #1 deli in Palm Beach County for 20 years. Our mother.
She makes sure you prepare everything from scratch using only the freshest ingredients.
Manzo's Italian Deli is located on Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, right next to Rain Dancers.
Is that a strip club?
No, it's a steakhouse. Manzo's is open weekdays from 8 to 5 and offers free delivery. So stop by or call 697-9411. That's 697-9411.
we also specialize in hot and cold catering for corporate functions and special events.
Just ask anyone who was at my last birthday party.
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or bradleyair.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
Kaiser University's flagship campus, the 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach, extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees in the heart of South Florida. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 20 national championships, including the 2024 Women's Swimming and Diving Championship and 2023 football, lacrosse, and men's swimming and diving titles. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest.
Anajar and Levine. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station. Time now for a PNC pause. PNC Bank is committed to helping the customers and the communities they serve move forward financially. See how they can make a difference for you at PNC.com.
Fall in love with your favorite sweet treats at DQ Grill & Chill. Featuring the blizzards of the month, pumpkin pie with world-famous soft serve, real pumpkin pieces, whipped topping, and nutmeg. Or the French silk pie blizzard, combining all those iconic velvety rich flavors, plus new blizzards on DQ's fall menu, such as caramel Java chip, Reese's Pieces cookie dough, and salted caramel truffle. If that's too much and need a quick kick, try the new DQ White Mocha Shake. DQ Grill & Chill with 2 locations, 4828 Lake Worth Road, and US 1, just south of North Lake.
Hey, it's your boy JC. Why the latest Tua update is actually worse than expected, and it's not because he's going to the IR. We explain on today's brand new Questionable Call with Josh Cohen. Subscribe now on YouTube. Questionable Call with Josh Cohen. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
All into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
Baseball heating up. Thursday night football tonight. Week 3 is coming in. Tonight with the Jets and the Patriots. It's Russo and Rizzo live here at ESPN 1063. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, C-Cat helping us out behind the glass.
We have a caller.
Yeah, 888-760-3776. The number to get into the program, that's 888-760-3776. I'd like to welcome in Cologne from New Jersey. Cologne from New Jersey, welcome into the program. What's on your mind?
Hey, Colin. Hey, Mike. How are you doing today?
Good, partner.
Man. What's up? Hey, on the Jets today, I think today's game, this is a big game for a Jets fan because I think it's a must-win. Only because, ever since 2010, since we beat the Patriots in the playoffs, this team has always looked to embarrass us, right? And there's no more Belichick. There is no more Tom Brady. This is a new era of Gerard Mayo, and we need to win this game, to start the era right, because this team always has been a thorn in our side, always looks to embarrass us. And if I want to take the Jets seriously, they're better than the Patriots. They should win this game. And and on top of all that, Aaron Rodgers last week, the offense, a lot of a delay of games. This is the game to get them right.
And Cologne, that brings me to my question. I was going to ask you. So are you buying in on the Saleh experiment? I mean, it's still an experiment at this point, 4 years later. But what's your takeaway on Saleh? Is he the right guy for this job?
Right now, my heart says no. And but listen, the offense is all Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is running this offense. right? Hackett,
Agreed.
you know what? He's just there because of Aaron Rodgers. Salah is defense. He has to improve this defense. We cannot stop the run. I know we lost Johnson and C.J. Mosley's banged up, right? And also, the reason why this is a must-win is because I want to sign Hassan Reddick, right? Do not want to sign on a negative note. Let us win a few games and let him hopefully come to us. I don't want to go running to him. If we lose this game, they're going to say same old Jets.
Yep, same old Jets.
So,
Yep. Appreciate the call, Cologne.
Thank you, Cologne.
He's right. Same old Jets. It's like the Mets.
That's why
Same old Mets.
Kyle, that's why I said earlier that, you got to prove that the operation is running correctly. You got to get that offense going. I am under the assumption whenever you hold an NFL team under 20 points, damn near 25, it was a good outing. They hold Tennessee to 17. Obviously, they got gashed at San Francisco. But
it's like in this economy, in this offensive economy, maybe. It depends. It's going to be ugly.
I just think they need to come to, the defense and the offense need to play well.
They need a complete game.
Yeah, they need it. It's the best way you could put it. They need a complete game, and I think it all starts with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Jets, Patriots tonight on Amazon Prime. That will be later with, I think, Herb Street and Michael's on the call, of course.
Yep.
And on the baseball side of things, before we loop in C-Cat, just a quick update. The Twins, once again, blew another extra innings game to the Cleveland Guardians. 2 in a row now. They did it last night in 10, and they lost tonight. Today in the afternoon in 10.
The magic is back at the corner of Carnegie and Ontario, Colin.
Guardians, of course, sitting in steady spot at top of the AL Central, and the Twins, of course, dwindling, spiraling, now 10-20 in their last 30, and they're in some trouble of falling out of that AL Central race with the red-hot Detroit Tigers right on their tail. C-Cat, how you doing, my friend?
Couldn't be better.
So welcome to the program. How you doing?
I'm doing okay.
So just give us a rundown of what you did and where you went. How's that?
Yeah. Absolutely. Saw an Instagram ad in January, about 2 weeks before my anniversary with my wonderful girlfriend. We've been meaning to travel. I've never been out of the country until this trip. So we said, you know what? This Instagram ad says we will book a trip for you, and we won't tell you about it until you get to the airport. You tell us what you want in your vacation. You tell us your budget. You tell us where you definitely don't want to go or where you already have been so you don't want to travel there again, and we'll take it from there. Tell us what kind of vacation you want. We'll take it from there. So we did just that. 1 week later, we booked that vacation.
So who are you talking to? Is this like an actual travel agent?
This is pretty much a AI.
You're talking to a
quiz.
Computer?
Talking to a computer, yes.
Oh my God,
a quiz that matchmakes you.
A Google form.
Yeah, essentially a Google form.
Wow.
Answering these questions as the couple who's going to take this trip. And then about 2 days later, they send you an email with a proposal which tells you the dates of the trip, the amount of money you're going to spend, which airport to go to, information that's a necessity, and some clues as to what type of vacation they're giving you.
What were the clues that you were given? This is only 2 days. So you got this in January.
Yes.
What were the clues?
Coastal, beautiful, scenic area.
Wow.
Knock down, drag out, beautiful food country. Known for the food.
All right, if they say that, you got to know. And you ended up going to the Amalfi Coast.
The island.
Kind of.
So he for the last 10 days, he's been bringing up the fact that the island from the TV show Lost, that's where you went.
Yeah.
And that's
you went. Benjamin Linus swindled you into going to the island. He used you. He took a kidney or whatever. And
I've always been a Desmond guy myself, so you can do a Linus impression all you want.
So
I'll see you in the next life, brother.
So this is interesting. So you show up to the airport and you have an envelope and you open it at the airport, and then all of a sudden away you go.
Yep. In the envelope, it has the details of your entire vacation, what exact excursions you're doing, where you're flying, how you're connecting, what your Airbnb or what your hotel is, and all that information. You just away we go.
How do you win something like this? How were you the lucky couple to win this?
Was it a sweepstakes or was it you just pay for it?
No, this is just it's a travel agent essentially. This was in a sweepstakes. We paid for the vacation.
Oh, you paid for the vacation.
They didn't win it. Essentially, you just applied for it to kind of make it spontaneous.
I thought you were lucky winner number 5, and off you go on your vacation.
And it was great. Italy was great.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
First time out of the country. It lives up to all the hype.
Deep down, did you have a wish?
No. I
Like when you're opening that envelope, you'd be like, I'd be over the moon if I got this place.
No, because I'm so ignorant to the rest of the world. So I don't really know what I want. This
Good
is
point.
why we
So
kind
you're
of did
very
this.
open-minded.
Exactly. So I don't know what I'm going to like. All I know is that I want the food. That was the only mandatory. It's got to be known for the food wherever we end up
That was
going.
included in your Google form.
Yes. Of
It needs
what
good food.
Yes. Yes. That was one thing I emphasized to the 10th degree.
All right, so we got the good stuff out of the way. Let's get to the bad. So you travel back today. Walk me through the last 30 hours of your day.
Seacat, you stink.
Walk us through your last 30 hours.
So we flew connecting from Miami to Istanbul, Turkey to Napoli. So reverse, go to Napoli.
So you have to take a bus or a train from the Amalfi Coast to Naples.
They have a book transfer with our with the company.
So somebody drove you?
They took care of that. Yes.
Okay. So somebody drove you to the Naples.
About an hour and a half drive, a lot of traffic, bumper to bumper.
Oh boy,
really painful.
You're already stinky out of that car ride.
Yes, kind of sweaty. Yeah, for sure.
Okay,
Fell asleep. You ever fall asleep in the car and you wake up and you feel sticky? That's kind of how I felt.
Oh God, we haven't even gotten on the plane yet. Go ahead.
TMI.
And this is about 9 a.m. Eastern time. This is 9 a.m. yesterday.
Gar.
It was 9 a.m. yesterday at local time, though.
Yeah,
No,
9
wait.
a.m. Eastern time. So it was 3 p.m.
It's 3 p.m. there.
Their time. Got to the airport, got through TSA. Do they still call it TSA no matter what country you're in?
I just call it security. Whatever.
Yeah. Got through security without a hitch. We're kind of worried about it because we smuggled in a bunch of mozzarella cheese and a bunch of prosciutto.
No wonder he stinks.
He didn't declare it.
No.
It's in the car?
No, it's in the fridge now. It was in the car.
I was going to say, you left it cooking in the car. Hey, jeez. Wow.
I probably left it in the car. Now I'm thinking about it.
Oh, my God. He stinks.
My girlfriend was supposed to go. She went straight to work after.
The mozzarella. Oh, boy.
The stinky cheese.
All right, so you were at Naples Airport and you flew to Istanbul.
Yep.
Busiest airport in the world, by the way.
Yeah, sure was, man. They have a lot of things going on there. It looks like the Mall of America in certain points. In certain points, it looks like the terminal is going to go on forever, gate after gate after gate.
So you get to your second flight. Did you get delayed at all?
As soon as we landed in Istanbul, we look at to where our gate is going to be for our flight from Istanbul to Miami. Of course, it's delayed 3 hours and 45 minutes.
So you're sitting there, already sweaty, sticky, after one flight, and you're just rotting in the Istanbul airport. Are you in sandals at this point?
No, I'm in sneakers and socks. So I got really dejected. I got really sad.
So, okay. And so you were pissed off that you got a delay.
Uh-huh.
You get on the flight. How long is that flight from Istanbul to Miami?
From east to west, it was 12 hours. 12-hour flight.
Okay. And what about from west to east?
About 11 hours and 15 minutes. The wind
you're
helps out.
you're on the plane for 12 hours.
No wonder I don't leave the country.
So you're on the plane for 12 hours after a flight and a car ride. And on the plane, God forbid,
I never moved. I kind of sat there.
Dude, if you would have taken that shoe off on that flight, they would have had to emergency land the flight.
Oh, yeah. Hour number like 1.5. The shoes came off.
So Mike is a germaphobe, and he loves the idea of flying. We got into this last week. He loves the idea of flying, but he hates the human disgust that comes with flying.
Listen, this airline gave you slippers. They're encouraging you to take your shoes off.
Oh, God. Until you took yours off.
Hey, listen, everyone in our row had their shoes off.
I don't know Turkish Airlines. Does the seat go back enough? Does it go? Does it? How's the reclining feature on that? Wasn't great.
Needed like maybe 6 or 7 more inches, and I'd be okay.
Now, from my understanding, as I've never been out of the country, I heard Seacat's going to make fun of me. Ha ha ha. So, from my understanding, you could pay extra to like have a lay down spot, right? Where you could like have like your own
any
bed,
flight. Yeah.
Right?
Talking to a 6th grader. Yeah. Yes, you can. Extended leg room. Yes.
But like you could like actually lay down. You're in like a cocoon.
There's first class, there's business class, and there's extended leg room.
So once you go international travel, the ways in which you could there's more seats. There's not just like, you've been on like a local Delta flight and you have just like the first class and then coach or they call it business and just economy. In international, there's like more levels to it. Usually, it depends on the airline, depends on the flight.
I'd pay out the wazoo for like what I just described. I would pay out the absolute wazoo, whatever it costs.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I was in coach.
Right, and so you're on there for 12 hours.
Uh-huh.
What time did you land this morning? I should say
about 10:15
a.m.
10:15 a.m.
in Miami, and then all of a sudden you're pressed to get to work because you got theoretically speaking at, you got to be around here at 1:30.
I'm making phone calls. I kind of scammed my way into free parking, so I had to take an Uber to my parking spot, then take the kind of scam method, give it to my friend. Had to go all around Miami and then drive up.
You parked at a friend's house. That's your scam?
Not really.
I
got my ways.
Let's keep the scammers to the scammers.
Okay, and continue. So you drove up and you came right here?
Yep.
What about the mozzarella?
Mozzarella's in the suitcase where I think my girlfriend stopped at home. She may have gone straight to work, so it might be in my trunk of my car right now.
So she dropped you off?
Yes.
So she wouldn't go home after that. She wouldn't go home. She'd go to work.
Well,
why would she drop you off then go home? Unless she wasn't pressed to get to work.
I was more pressed for time than she was.
So his feet stink. He's got stinky cheese in the back. He hasn't showered in 2 days. What's going on here?
I think smell for smell, I smell better than you right now.
No chance.
Yeah.
He's got an
No chance.
We got to do a blind smell test to bring people in here.
Did you deodorant up on the way here?
Oh, I like triple layered. Like,
so that makes me feel a little better.
I just if you're wearing open-toed sandals, like I don't know. I picked it up. If that makes sense.
Listen, there were a lot of precautions taken here, okay? Every decision I made was for the betterment of everybody who worked here. I took my shoes off and my socks off when I got in the car.
I think you would have been fine with the socks and shoes. I'm going to be completely honest.
See, I would have gotten
more
away
so than
with
what
it.
we're getting. More so than what we're getting.
I'm
more
under,
so than the flip-flops.
I'm under the assumption he washed his feet to a sense before
What do you mean
he
wash
came
your feet? What is this, ancient Greece? What are you like?
He went over to a local hose or
what
something.
Are you going to the baths and then how do you wash your feet?
Here's
in
the
the
thing.
sink? Where did you do
Well,
this?
hand soap, a little
Colin, it
water.
In the bathroom? Where?
In the airport.
Yeah, you had to. You had to.
And then, is that where you put on the flip-flops?
One of my best friends growing up, he had like a legitimate clinical problem for stinky feet. He would have to do that stuff all the time.
Really?
Yeah, he'd have to have sandals and stuff in his backpack. It was rough.
I can tell you my feet definitely smell better than before I washed them, but I can't smell my own feet. I'm not that flexible.
So let me get this right. You're in a public bathroom at an airport, and your private bathroom?
Oh, yeah, pretty clean. I mean,
no. Was it like a family bathroom, or was it a men's bathroom with multiple sinks?
Yeah, I can stretch my legs.
So did anybody call the police on you when you're sitting there with your fingers in web between your toes with hand
toe
soap?
jam out.
Scrub it up, dub. I don't know why you're gagging. You should be gagging if I didn't do this.
Hold on. If I walked in on that, I would get a security guard. Somebody would need to tell you to do this somewhere else. I go outside and do it like with a hose. I don't.
Smell for smell, I dominate both of you right now.
No,
guaranteed.
hey, listen, I
chance.
give you I commend you a little bit for trying. I think it wouldn't have been that much of a nuisance to shower. You showed up. What time did you get here? 12:15, 12:30?
Got here around 12:45, man. Time was tight. Got to clean up some messes. Got to make my presence known. Say hello to everybody. Shake some hands. Kiss some babies.
Love it.
So that was your trip, and
we're glad to have you back. Stinking all.
Overall, would you do a trip like this again?
Absolutely.
A blind trip like that?
Yeah, I would. We met some people overseas, some British snobs from Cambridge, where they're talking about their travels, and they mentioned Singapore is cool, so maybe Singapore.
Well, you can't do a blind trip and then go to Singapore.
Right. So we're kind of back and forth.
We met some friends, some British snobs.
They were certainly snobs.
How old were they?
This was like marriage number 3 for both of them.
Oh, God.
They were kind of in their 50s. It was their honeymoon, yes.
I got to ask, me and the EPL, did they have a Premier League team they liked?
I think they were big fans of the Spurs.
Okay,
like
Tottenham.
Yeah.
They haven't won a trophy since the 60s, so.
Yeah, I'll let them know.
Okay, please.
That was C-Cat's trip to Italy. He walks in.
He didn't talk about Italy at all. We talked about my trip home from the airport.
And how he has stinky feet.
Trip was good. That's all I got.
All right, really quickly, what's your favorite part about Italy?
Food.
All right, other than that.
Mozzarella cheese.
All right, other than food and mozzarella cheese.
Gotta go with the scenery.
I think the scenery is great.
Cliffs are insane. It looks like a puzzle.
I like the lifestyle. I've been to Italy myself. I just think the lifestyle is very, you're in a touristy spot, but it's very lax. And like Italians are very, what's the word? Hospitable.
Yeah.
And there's a stigma that Italians don't love Americans. That's not true.
No.
Italians like Americans.
They wouldn't learn English. All of them wouldn't learn English if they didn't like Americans.
Well, they need that because that's basically the lifeblood of the economy.
That too.
The French are the ones that hate Americans.
That's it.
The French, I swear, the thing with the French is they know English. They decide not to speak it with you. That is what they do.
I was told from those British friends there's a blood feud between the French and the British. Is that a real thing? I didn't know that was
I mean, there's the whole thing with like the World Wars and
the French and Indian
water under the bridge. Bygones be bygones.
French, now remember, the French helped the Americans in the Revolutionary War. Maybe they're still pissed off about that.
Right. But if you remember, guys, the battle for the French and Indian War was
So
French and
there
the
was
British going at it for the Americas.
Yes,
Guardians.
And all of a sudden, when America, had their backs against the wall, the French applied it some much needed assistance.
I don't think that I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
By the way,
it's 2024, Riz.
Yeah,
come on, man.
I mean, it's what the war was called. What do you want me to say?
All right, that's good to hear about Italy. We're happy you're back. We're happy you had a safe travel on the way back.
Hold on,
and
one more
go ahead,
thing.
please.
He's wearing a Ravens hat. A little too soon for me, C-Cat.
For what? Wearing a Ravens hat?
I took remember the No Names Please Survivor pool for all the money that I was in.
Yeah,
we took the Ravens last week.
And you didn't watch any NFL. You didn't watch any sports. Not one game.
The one night I got drunk in Italy was Sunday night, and I watched kickoff on my phone on Red Zone, and then put the phone down when our entrees got out, and I do not remember a single thing after the entrees came out of dinner.
It's impossible to watch the NFL when you're in Europe. Yeah. I was there during Super Bowl season. Nonetheless, we'll have to postpone 5 and 5 till next segment. But, C-Cat, we appreciate you giving us a little rundown on your travel day. We think it's absolutely unethical that you were here without showering and,
open-toed sandals.
Webbing your toes in a public airport bathroom in Miami, I think is just, I think that should be criminalized in a couple states. But nonetheless, we're happy you're here. We're happy you're back. And we'll continue with our 5 and 5, do a lot of baseball. Next, it's Russo and Rizzo live here at ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hey, it's one for the accident attorneys, Anajar and Levine. Car accidents, truck accidents, slip and fall, trip and fall. Did you get injured on the job? Workers' comp problems? My friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine, they will fight for you. Remember, they do not get paid unless you get paid, and they will fight to get you the maximum compensation you know you deserve. Here's what you do. You just call. Call Anajar and Levine for your absolutely free consultation. Do not settle for just any attorneys. Demand Anajar and Levine, and demand the Anajar and Levine difference. It takes just one phone call to begin to take back control of your life. So do that. Take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-FREE. 1-800-747-3733. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys, take back control of your life.
Former CIA officer Jason Hansen here. As someone who's dedicated my life to protecting people, I know the importance of guarding what matters most. Right now, with global instability and the dollar's declining value, that means securing your financial assets with gold. For me, I trust Advantage Gold with my own investments. Give them a call at 800-900-8000 for a 100% free gold guide. Again, call Advantage Gold now at 800-900-8000 today.
Paid for by Advantage Gold. Performance may vary. Past performance is not indicated for future results. Always consult your financial and tax professional.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? A man age 50 non-tobacco user can obtain $500,000 of coverage for as little as $110 per month. Level rate for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. If you're a smoker, there are great rates available for you as well. Call Term Busters for a quote. 1-800-908-7636. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908-7636. Remember, call Term Busters. 1-800-908-7636. Sample rate for preferred non-tobacco rate class. Exam required to qualify.
Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked #1 in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
I'm Wendy Sartori-Link, your Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections, and I'm committed to the integrity and accuracy of our elections. Election Day is November 5th. To vote in the 2024 general election, you have to be registered by Monday, October 7th. Registering is easy, and you can do so online at www.registertovoteflorida.gov, by mail, or in person at any one of our 4 offices or a voter registration agency. Your vote is your voice, and we're here to make it count. Sponsored by the Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections.
Does your business leave a lasting impression? Attractive, eye-catching signs help you stand out from the crowd and create a strong brand identity. Our team at Signorama West Palm are experts in helping your business get noticed and get effective signage in front of your potential customers. Our team can turn your blank windows or plain vehicles into money-making branding machines by drawing customers' attention to your business. So if you're looking to leave that lasting impression, call us 561-687-7993 or visit SignoramawPB.com.
Hey, it's Josh Cohen. When you need auto repair, honesty and reliability are everything. Trust the home for honest, reliable service since 1970. St. Lucie Battery and Tire. St. Lucie Battery and Tire has all the tire and battery brands in stock for cars, trucks, RVs, marine, power sports, golf carts, everything. Major and minor service repairs, free tire pressure, battery checks. St. Lucie Battery and Tire, over 50 years in our community. And now with 18 full-service locations, West Palm to the Treasure Coast. Go to slbt.com. That's slbt.com.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Some Travel Chronicles with C-Cat. Russo and Rizzo live here, ESPN 106.3 at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. We didn't get to it, but I was happy we got to hear from C-Cat and his travel. I'm going to ask you about that periodically for probably the next week because I love travel and I have my experiences doing that. But and Mike, you haven't traveled much, have you?
No, C-Cat. I heard a rumor that C-Cat was going to call me a fake Italian, and
dude, I went there. There wasn't a single Rizzo. Your name might be like Icelandic or something. I don't know. It's not Italian. That's what I know.
What was a popular Italian last name you ran into?
A bunch of them.
Amis.
Yeah,
a lot of
don't
Amis.
even know. You don't even know.
Like Penchami.
You don't even know.
Anno's a big one. Pianciano or like.
I got picked up from the airport by a Giovanni.
Oh,
that was incredible.
Are you good with your chows? Buonasera.
Ciao.
Buonanotte.
Yeah, I am good.
Okay.
Take my word for it.
How do you say how are you? What's your name? Come te chiami?
I didn't do all that.
Colin? Look at you cultured.
I just studied Italian.
Look at you cultured stuff, bro.
Studying Italian ruined my Spanish, so now I got to get back at the Spanish roof. But nonetheless, that was C-Cat in his Travel Chronicles. He went blind to the Amalfi Coast. I give you credit for that. Takes guts to do something like that. That's fun.
I recommend for anybody, honestly.
If you don't know,
if you want to travel and don't know where to go.
I've been to a lot of places, so I would probably do
true.
I would probably do somewhere different. But I got some weird spots, and you know what people say that sucks that I don't think sucks?
What?
Egypt.
I'd love to see the pyramids.
So everybody brings up horror stories about the salesmen and people trying to scam you every 5 seconds. I've been to Egypt. I've been through the main areas in terms of there's nothing to worry about in terms of safety. Cairo's the 5th biggest city in the world. I thought that was a really
I would
cool
love
trip.
to visit Egypt, honest.
That was a really cool. I've heard a lot. Everybody says Egypt sucks. I completely disagree.
Girlfriend's college roommate and best friend lived in Egypt for a long time, is like half Egyptian. So she was kind of hoping we didn't get Egypt. We didn't put it on the list to say don't send us to Egypt, but we're thinking, well, if we're going to Egypt, we can do it for a whole lot cheaper with a place to stay.
Yeah. Egypt, it's very cheap. And I remember the Egyptian dollar, 1/4 of its value. I don't want to get too much into travel, but 1/4 of its value over a year period. I went there last spring, and it was like an Uber. I had a 3-hour Uber from Cairo to Alexandria, Egypt.
How much?
Uber's big there.
Yeah.
$6.
Stop it.
And I did it with 4 people, so I spent $1.50.
These 4 guys, you tip them or something?
No, it's just that much. The U.S. dollar is that powerful there.
Quickly, I am fascinated by Egyptian culture. Absolutely fascinated by the pharaohs, ancient Egypt, the pyramids.
Fascinating.
So
and the Egyptian Museum, there's a ton of history there, and the pyramids are very cool. It's a little touristy. You got to go early in the morning, but it's very cool.
C-Cat, are you a gamer? Are you Assassin's Creed at all?
I played it a little bit.
Okay,
I kinda
Odyssey.
outgrew it.
Like one of my favorite ones, or not Odyssey, excuse me, Origins. Odyssey's good as well, ancient Greece. But Assassin's Creed Origins is like ancient Egypt, and it's awesome. Game is unreal. Scavenging pyramids and going through the timeline, a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Very cool. Travel stories. We'll get into that a little later. I have plenty of fun ones. But in the meantime, let's get to the 5 at 5, the late one at 5:20. Number one.
C-Cat, I forgot you were back. You hit the music. I've been hitting the music.
I hit the music.
Yeah, I love it.
I hit
love
the
it.
music.
I love it. Welcome back.
The NL wildcard race is heating up. And as of now, the Padres, the Mets, the D-backs are all but Atlanta is only 2 games out and has Chris Sale on a bump tonight versus Cincinnati. Who's in the best position to make a run?
Well, to bring this up, Atlanta won today. It was today. It was not tonight. That's my mistake. Okay. And Sale, of course, I think he got the win, but not the greatest showing. But they won 15-3.
But you mentioned he's well on his way in winning the Cy Young.
This Met game, they play the Phillies tonight on Fox 7:15. That is going to be a game to watch. The Mets play the Braves next week during the week. That will be big time baseball to watch. I love the wild card when people are fiending for spots. But in terms of the NL, Mike, I know this is outside of the Guardians, so they got their own. They're okay.
Yeah, we'll be all right.
But
hope we win the division.
Mets, I think baseball is about brand, in my opinion. If you want ratings, you need brand. Diamondbacks, Rangers doesn't do it. It's not like people are going to tune in regardless. They need the Mets. They need the Yankees. They need the Dodgers. They need all those teams in the mix and playing well because it's good for the brand. It's good for the sport.
I couldn't agree more on that sense, but Colin, I love when it's mayhem. That's my favorite. And
it was fun last year, but then all of a sudden the Rangers went easy and nobody watched it, and then it's bad.
Exactly. And I go to my former partner, Jim Mattson. The joke on our show, Colin, was, who won the World Series last year? They didn't play the World Series last year because he was so disinterested in the Rangers and the Diamondbacks. The MLB is starving for the Yankees versus the Braves or the Yankees
Dodgers
versus the Mets, Dodgers, whatever it may be. They need it, but as a fan of a very small market team, I love when the mayhem happens. And to answer this question, who has the best chance of going on a run, it just seems like the Mets year to me for some reason.
I tend to agree.
It seems like, but I don't, Colin, like, when I say it seems like the Mets year, that doesn't mean they have to make the World Series. I think that they could go on a run, get to the NLCS, have some fun, have a good season. I don't know about you, partner. I did not pen the Mets in to being a playoff team this year. I thought it was going to be more disaster than anything.
Well, think about what the Mets did. They had the ultimate fire sale last year with Verlander and Scherzer.
And I guess that's a lot of it.
And all of a sudden, they're running it back. And it's all about the pitching. The Diamondbacks have pitched. I know they just got Merrill Kelly back, but the pitching hasn't been as good as last year. That's why they were able to make such a good run. They had Fat, who was playing really well, Gallen and Merrill Kelly, whatever. The Mets this year, Jose Quintana is playing fantastic. Manaea, a former A. Everybody's a former A. And he's playing well. And they're actually getting some good innings out of Luis Severino. And you know how if Diaz can figure it out as a closer, that's more than enough to make a run.
Yeah, and I'm going to give Francisco Lindor his flowers.
Yeah, if when he gets healthy again, they're going to be right in it.
I'm a really big fan of Lindor from his time with my squad. Pete Alonso, well on his way to 35 home runs again. So they've been a fun team. They've been a fun team all year, probably besides the first 20-ish games of the season when I was calling them dead. Fair play to the Mets and fair play to their organization, Colin, for going, listen, we might have made these signings, but it was a mistake, and we got to change. They changed, and it's helping.
Yeah, you got to give them credit. They took a chance on Carlos Mendoza, their manager, and of course they took David Stearns. They trust the process a little bit, and Stearns knows what he's doing as general manager.
Quickly as well, the Braves, with all their injuries, very impressed with what they've been able to do. Losing Acuna, losing a bunch of star players.
Strider.
Spencer Strider.
Austin Riley's hurt.
So for them to even be in consideration speaks to how good of a team they are.
I think Ozzie Albies is planning on coming back, but only as a right-handed hitter or something
Colin,
like that.
take it a step further, too. Michael Harris missed a lot of time this year. They're starting center fielder.
Yeah,
so.
the Braves reload, and they have so many assets. They have so many guys all over the place, and they're great with rookies. And also, they've been able to put Sale in the fountain of youth.
They won recently, too. That's big, Colin.
It's winning culture.
They have a World Series that's, 3 years separated now, beating the cheating Astros.
Yeah, it's winning culture. But I'm going to root for the Mets here. I really am. And I think it's because baseball needs it, and I think the Mets are fun. And baseball needs, the way I look at it, it needs a shot in the arm. And I think the Mets might be that. So let's get to number 2.
Number 2.
The AL wildcard race is heating up as well. O's, Royals, Twins are in as of now, but Detroit only half game out.
That's the hottest team in
gonna
baseball.
run?
Hottest team in baseball.
Yeah, it's same thing, Kyle. Same answer. We're asking which AL wildcard team could possibly make a run.
Well, let's think about this. Minnesota, of course. What a joke.
Go Guards, baby. Go Guards.
What a joke.
Death, taxes, and the Guardians beating the Twins, baby.
That bullpen is as bad as I've ever seen with the Twins. Terrible. Terrible. Terrible.
Got a question for you guys, actually.
Go ahead.
sir.
Yankees clinched the playoffs last night.
Yeah.
They popped bottles. They said they would also pop bottles if they won the division. Is that okay by you?
They're the worst. And CCAT, listen, it's more of my frustration with your team owning my team my whole life. So this comes from a place of superiority on your part. Aren't the Yankees the worst, Colin?
You an Orioles guy?
No, he's a Yankee guy.
You're a Yankee guy?
He's a Yankee guy. Aren't they the worst?
So
they
the
don't
way
know how to win.
I agree. I hate the Yankees.
Man.
But maybe it's a situation in which the thing is they do this every year. But maybe it's a situation where Boone and Cashman are trying to happy vibes. And the fact that the Yankees are doing that is a little stupid. But I don't have that much of a problem. I thought I'd have a bigger problem with it. I don't, because
It's them. That's the best way I can put it. It's so them.
Yeah.
It feels beneath
It's a little.
them, no?
It is. It's a little.
Really though, the last decade, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Like,
they're always in the mix. They just run into Houston.
No one's going to call this a successful
and to
season.
be fair, Houston are a bunch of cheaters. So what is it,
And the Yankees are the only team that can complain about.
That's the only time. Sorry, Colin.
No, please.
That's the only time I'll root for New York is when they're playing Houston.
And the Yankees are the only team that could get screwed, or that could complain about the Astros because they lost every road game in that 2017.
Correct.
You should only pop bottles if you win your division,
Win the pennant.
if you make it to the NL ALCS, win the pennant, win the World Series. Don't win a wild card series. You don't pop bottles for that. You don't pop bottles if you win
Making the
division
playoffs
series.
as a wild card team, if they made a run, Washington, if they could do that, that the Mets, if they make the play, I'd be okay with it.
Like Colin,
but you'll have chance to pop bottles later in the playoff run. You don't do it in the regular season.
I know. I agree.
I'm fine with division.
Yes.
I'm completely fine with division. You play all those games against your
That's
bitter
the way,
rivals.
that's the way to. It's all.
Year
It's
in
a
and year
long
out.
process.
Year in and year out, if you get your bitter rivals, teams that know you well, you can't stand each other.
Yeah. And shifting back to, so I have somewhat of a.
I
Okay
have a
with
team.
it. I'm okay with it. It's just the Yankees. The Yankees piss me off.
Yeah, me too.
So but think about the AL for a second. Twins are collapsing. The Royals are collapsing. Detroit has been the hottest team in baseball. They've been absolutely out freaking standing. They won 9. I think this is 9 of 11 now, and they have the Orioles this weekend, who have also been struggling.
Right.
So if you think about the Tigers for a second, you know what's interesting with them? They have one player with more than 24 homers. One player.
Throwback.
It's Green.
Yeah,
Riley
Green. He's on my fantasy team.
And so they have 5 players with 10 plus. That's not a lot. They don't have a lot of offensive output. And Scooble's been the only consistent pitcher throughout their season.
And I was just going to go to that route, Colin. They have the Cy Young winner, in my opinion. I think Scooble's the Cy Young of the AL.
It's him and Sale, probably.
So, did you expect it? I didn't expect this from I thought 500-ish for the Tigers. I really did. That's why,
you give them credit for not selling. You give them credit for not selling.
Yes, and some of these teams, everyone was out on the Central. I'm not going to name names here, but I was watching an MLB Network, and one of their analysts was like, the Central, they stink. The Guardians are doing it against bad teams. Boys, is there a world where, Baltimore's 5 games ahead and pending complete capitulation at the end of the year. 3 AL Central teams can make the playoffs.
Yeah, the problem is they have
That's
the worst
insane.
team in the history of the sport, sitting right there.
But still, Colin,
for 16 games.
I understand that. But still, you mentioned Detroit, the hottest team. My Guardians have played well all year. The Twins might be playing bad now, but they played well all year too. I don't know. I think there's a changing of the guard a little bit in the AL. And quickly, the Red Sox, man. How about, when are they going to get back to relevancy? Opening up the curtain a little bit, program director and our boss, Brian Rowitz, we were talking today, Colin, they're not making big signings. They signed Rafael Devers this offseason, and then Devers goes a month later, guys, what are we doing? We didn't sign anybody. You signed me, you didn't sign anybody. This is the Red Sox. They're supposed to be competing with the Yankees with top free agents. I had them listed as a sleeper for Shohei Ohtani. It turned out they weren't even in the conversation.
I think they're a little outpriced by that. And they're a little outpriced. By Ohtani, $700 million? Yeah,
it's
probably.
The Red Sox, though.
It's $700 million.
Don't they have a blank check, Kyle? Am I missing
not
something
as much
here?
as the Dodgers do, and not as much as the Yankees do in the Mets.
Like, we grew up... When
I agree, they're right in the mix.
I mean?
But they had a lot of like homegrown, like Euclid, like Ortiz was always there.
Veritek.
Like they had guys who were always
they
Pedroia,
traded for Poppy.
Pedroia.
I understand.
They had guys there that born like bred to be.
They got
Red
Manny.
Sox.
They stole Manny from my Indians.
And when Xander Bogaerts, they eventually let loose and Betts and all that stuff. But with the Red Sox, I understand they missed out on a couple big-time signings. But how many, outside of the Dodgers, who have plucked every big name that you could possibly think of, not named Juan Soto, and we'll see what he does this offseason.
But Kyle, for them not to make the playoffs 3 straight years is a joke. My Uncle Patrick's a Red Sox fan from Boston. They're fed up. They're fed up with that organization.
I understand being fed up, but the Orioles have come onto the scene. The Yankees are always the Yankees. And Tampa Bay... Bad year this year, but Tampa Bay is...
You can't tell a Boston fan that, Colin. The Yankees are the Yankees.
Yeah, they are.
You can't tell a Boston Red Sox fan
Well,
that.
the Yankees are always going to be in the mix. They're always going to have that 90-something wins. And, Toronto is so hit or miss. But Tampa Bay, on the other hand... Tampa Bay, nobody does more with less than them. It used to be the A's. Now it's Tampa Bay Rays.
Circling back around, I would probably have to go with Detroit at this point. For everything Colin said, everyone else is on a free fall. Baltimore's played bad. The Royals are free falling. The Twins stink. So I probably would have to go with Detroit.
And if you want to count Baltimore as a wild card, I guess they've been playing better than that all year, and they're probably going to be sitting steady right there. But the way I look at it as well is with Baltimore, you know how much talent they have. They got a sense of the playoffs last year, but their bullpen they did not address at the deadline, and they're probably going to get screwed because of it. Pitching wins postseason games. And if you have guys that are hot out of the pen, the Tigers don't have a great one, but they have a couple guys. If you're hot in the pen, then you can hang around.
That's why I'm worried about the Yankees. They got pitching. They got Cole.
Yeah, they got Cortez Rodon, who's been solid.
Yeah, it's theirs to lose.
Luis Gil has been good.
Maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe those cheating Astros can rival them. It's theirs to lose. With that lineup, the Tower of Terror that I call it. Now, Soto's got to get healthy. But Judge, Soto, and the pitching staff, the bullpen's deacon is good enough, in my opinion. It's theirs to lose.
Yeah, that bullpen,
it's good enough.
They don't have anybody that could get them to the end of that last inning. You can't rely on Clay Holmes.
Oh, God.
But I think at the very least, they have enough star power to really, they need everybody to get hot at the right time. That's what this is. You got to get hot at the right time.
And I swear this isn't me just being a homer, Colin. Make a case for my Guardians for me, because my pitch, I worry about our top 3 starting pitchers.
Yeah, the starting...
which is crazy for me to say.
Yeah. Who
How
do
the
you
hell
want
do
after
we have
Bybee?
pitchers?
It's going to be Bybee and
Bybee, Gavin Williams, Ben Lively. And Lively, you signed Alex
It's not a lot
Cobb.
of top-end talent, but you know how good their relievers are.
Our bullpen's unreal. Emmanuel Clase, there are arguments he should win the Cy Young. I'm not one of those
Definitely
people.
not.
I'm not one of those people, Colin, but there are arguments that he could possibly win the Cy Young with what he's done. But Bybee, Gavin Williams, Ben Lively, Matthew Boyd, man, I'm worried.
Relatively consistent players on offense. The Guardians are in a good spot. The problem is the Guardians and the Yankees don't have the best of relationships, and it's a matter of
I don't want to watch
if and when they run into each other, or worst comes to worst, who runs into a hot wild card team. You know how bad it is when you get that bye.
C-Cat, if we play each other, don't even ask. I'm not watching.
The midges, man.
I'm not
I just
watching.
go back to the midges. 2007,
Yeah.
Jabba Chamberlain getting beat by the midges.
2007. What was that, 17 years ago?
Still lives rent-free in my head.
When I was 12? I'm 30 in October, man.
Joe Torre's biggest regret of his career, not taking his team off the field that game.
I'm 30. It was 17 years ago. You've owned us
Number
since.
4.
Mel Kiper. He came out and said, we should get rid of the double high safety coverage in the NFL. Does he have a point?
No.
about Tannenbaum today on that?
It's the stupidest thing I've ever
He
heard.
was so funny.
See, Mel Kiper is probably being protective of his quarterback prospect rankings, and all of a sudden, a lot of these guys are not working out. Oh, I think this guy would be a good player. This guy would be a good player. And all of a sudden, these offensive guys are not playing that well. And whether it's coaching or whatever you want to chalk it up to, I think Mel Kiper's probably saving a little face, saying that defenses are taking advantage in some capacity of the offense.
I'm with Tannenbaum. Like,
stupid. It's a waste of time.
It's an X and O game. If they're running double high safety, take your 5 yards on the ground. Take your flat. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And I'm not sitting here trying to be Mike T. I'm not an X's and O's guy. You know what I mean? But there has to be a way to get past that. Now, is it taking away the big play? Yes. Is it taking away the home run hit sometimes? Yes, but ridiculous. Couldn't agree more.
Number 5.
My guy, my pal, my co-host, Theo Dorsey came out and said that he despises Reuben sandwiches. Got me thinking, folks. What's your favorite sandwich?
Now, Kyle, I'm going to hijack here because this came from a conversation I had with Theo. He told me eating a Reuben sandwich was like biting into a human arm because of how much meat was on the sandwich. And I died laughing. Number one, I love Reubens.
He's got experience biting into a human arm.
I died laughing, but I love Reuben sandwiches. I love putting a piece of Swiss cheese on there with some mustard. So it got me thinking, Kyle. Give me your favorite sub and give me like a sandwich that you're just not big on at all.
I'm all reliable. So if you want to bring up like the chicken ones, like I'm a sucker for like a chicken cutlet sandwich. But an Italian combo, I think you can't go wrong. It's so reliable. It's simple. You can get it anywhere. They're usually all pretty good.
The roasted red peppers.
But a good chicken cutlet sandwich, I think, will be and if you want to count that as sub, you don't have to. But a chicken cutlet with some good sauce on it, that is a sandwich. But if not, give me Italian.
I'm with Colin. I love the classic Italian. C-Cat, I also love a cheesesteak. Oh, my God, dude.
Why are you telling me?
I feel like you seem like a cheesesteak guy.
You pegged me right. Yeah,
Okay,
I do
all
like
right.
cheesesteaks.
See, I clocked you. I know you, pal.
Yeah.
I clocked you, but sandwich I don't like, a fluff sandwich. You ever have a fluff sandwich?
Oh, that's weird.
Disgusting.
You got messed up like
Disgusting.
mentals to eat a fluff sandwich.
I think BLTs are overrated.
I don't like tomato. So
I like tomato. I just don't like the combo. I love tomato. I don't think bacon is as dominant of a meat. I don't think it can hang around with the lettuce and tomato.
Colin, you need a lot of bacon, to your point.
It's not. You need the ham. You need the chicken. You need something there to combat the lettuce and tomato.
And
lettuce and tomato on a roll does not taste that good. You need to have a meat to combat it.
Yeah, it's not a meal either. You can't order a BLT and be full after.
I need like 3.
It's not a lot there because there's not a lot of there's not a lot of pump.
My substitute for a tomato, by the way, is a cucumber. Feel free to ridicule me.
That's weird.
Okay.
We gotta go to break after that.
Pickles. Yeah. Like on a burger.
Never been the biggest pickle guy in my sandwiches.
Oh my God, I could eat.
Do you eat pickles like out of the jar?
Correct. I drink pickle juice.
For when?
Just if it's around, take a sip of pickle juice.
What do you mean? If it's
Block your jars.
Around
like at my house. See, at my house.
So if you're done with
pickle juice, is actually pretty good for you. That's what they give the athletes.
Are you done? Because it's I think it's electrolytes, it's salty. Pickle.
Yeah, it's what they give the athletes. It's not bad for you. Too much sodium.
If you're sitting around, do you wait till the pickles are done?
No. Like say I want to grab a dill pickle or whatever. I'll bite into the pickle and then it's not like it's just like a.
This is an effect.
Yeah, you're the germaphobe when you're putting lips to jars.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Hell?
It's mine. It's at home. It's mine.
Yeah, residue, whatever you're eating.
I've lived alone.
Ketchup on it.
This is year number 4 of living alone, and it's the best thing in the world. By the way, living alone, best thing in the world.
On the flip side of things, we will decide which wild card hopeful team in the MLB is most poised to make a run. But we also decided that. But we're gonna give out some actual predictions on the MLB side of things. Next, you're listening to Russo and Rizzo live here, ESPN 106.3.
Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hey, it's Josh Cohen for the accident attorneys, Anajar and Levine. Car accidents, truck accidents, slip and fall, trip and fall. Did you get injured on the job? Workers' comp problems? My friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine, they will fight for you. Remember, they do not get paid unless you get paid, and they will fight to get you the maximum compensation you know you deserve. Here's what you do. You just call. Call Anajar and Levine for your absolutely free consultation. Do not settle for just any attorneys. Demand Anajar and Levine, and demand the Anajar and Levine difference. It takes just one phone call to begin to take back control of your life. So do that. Take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-FREE. 1-800-747-3733. Anajar and Levine, accident attorneys. Take back control of your life.
With the resources of a national bank and personalized service of local teams, PNC Bank is committed to helping their customers and communities move forward. PNC, local teams working to make a difference in the South Florida community. See how at pnc.com.
Hurricane fans, join us Friday night, September 27th at 7:30 p.m. as the Miami Hurricanes take on Virginia Tech in a game with purpose at Hard Rock Stadium. This isn't just any game. It's our breast cancer awareness game. Wear your pink and show your support for a cause that touches us all. Let's pack the stadium, raise awareness, and cheer the Canes to victory. Get your tickets at MiamiHurricanes.com or by calling 1-800-GO-CANES.
Hey, it's your boy JC. Why the latest Tua update is actually worse than expected, and it's not because he's going to the IR. We explain on today's brand new Questionable Call with Josh Cohen. Subscribe now on YouTube. Questionable Call with Josh Cohen. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
MLB heating up. It's Russo and Rizzo live here, ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo. C-Cat joining us behind the glass. Russo and Rizzo presented in part by our pals over at the Boca Raton Bowl. The annual Boca Raton Bowl's ABC Supply Great Chefs Tailgate Showcase, presented by the Boca Raton Innovation Campus and CP Group, heats up on Tuesday, October 15th. From 6 to 8:30 p.m., join ESPN West Palm's Theo Dorsey at Brick and Boca Raton as dozens of local chefs, breweries, and cocktail masters serve their favorite tailgate classics. Tickets are on sale now. Includes all food samplings, entertainment, beer, wine, cocktails, and soft drinks. Visit spiritofgivingnetwork.org/events to purchase your tickets today. Now, it's a little early for this. We'll probably circle back to this when the playoffs actually kick off for the MLB. But if you're going to give a World Series favorite in each league, try not to be biased, Mike. Who are you going with? And you can be biased a little bit, but you got to give a good reason.
No, yeah. I already said mine. It's the Yankees out of the AL. I think they got a great pitching staff 1 through 3. I think their bullpen's good enough. Now, you mentioned you can't trust Holmes. I'm interested to see where Booney goes in a high-leverage situation. C-Cat, quickly, best guess, high-leverage situation, who's coming out of your bullpen?
Anyone but Holmes. They're just going to avoid him like the plague.
I think he will have to go to Holmes at some point. And then that lineup. Aaron Judge is hitting .324. I mean, .324 and all those home runs and over 100 RBIs. I could argue one of the best seasons in recent history. I know he hit 60 home runs, guys, a couple of seasons ago.
He's
but
a little more well-rounded this year.
It's unbelievable the year he is having. Any other year, Bobby Witt would win the MVP. So I'm going Yankees, Kyle. And then out of the NL, I guess call me boring. Especially with the early exit last year to the Diamondbacks, I feel like the Dodgers have unfinished business. And
Can they rely on they're too hurt at pitching, but can they rely on it?
And I don't know how deep, and it's funny I'm going to say this, I don't know how deep they have to be outside of, their top heavy four with Ohtani and Betts and company, but how deep are they in that back half of that lineup? There are questions there. But I'm going to be boring. I'm going to go Dodgers, and I'm going to go Yankees.
Just for the sake of baseball, I'm going to go with the Yankees as well. And I can't believe I'm doing that, but I think they're probably...
Watch out for the Astros, though.
This is as wide open as it's ever been, though.
Yep.
For baseball. And you're right. The Astros, a terrible start to the year, first 2 months, but then they turn it around slowly but surely.
Cheaters.
And all of a sudden, you catch them in a big game, and the Astros are the most impossible team that you could ever think of dealing with. We know that all too well. So never count them out. But I'm going to go with the Yankees just because they need to get hot at the right time. And it's all a crapshoot. It really is. And this is as big of a crapshoot as it's ever going to be in the MLB.
And don't tell me it's O'Terry's Phillies you're going.
No,
with.
I'm not going to go with the Phillies on this. I know that they probably have the most well-rounded team.
Good pitching staff.
They got a little bit of everything, and they have for a number of years now. But a lot of people think that if Phillies do, I don't think that that's going to be the team this year. I think it's going to be one of the wild card teams at the NL. So if I'm going to go with this, part of me thinks San Diego might turn it around and just make a bunch of noise out of nowhere. But just for the sake of it, I'm going to go with the Mets. I really am.
Wow, that a boy, Colin.
So I'm going to go with the Subway Series, World Series.
Man, I'd be locked into that.
And that's something that the MLB needs. I'm doing this for the brand.
That a boy, man.
MLB needs this. And whether you think that anybody outside of the East Coast won't care, that's not true because that's a pretty historic matchup.
Oh, I'll be watching.
And there's interest there. And, the Dodgers and the Yankees, of course, will do the best ratings-wise. But just staying in New York for 7 games, that's going to get interesting. So give me the Mets making a run on this. If I had to do a backup, I'm going to go with San Diego. I think they made good moves at the deadline. They got a lot of arms. If everybody's relatively healthy in that 1 through 9.
No faith in Roberts.
And Jurickson Profar, another former A, just playing great. So, in Jurickson Profar, former number 1 prospect in baseball.
Yeah.
But nonetheless.
Best pickup I had in fantasy this year, by the way.
Jurickson Profar. Fun fact, my old Bose gym headphones, like the earbuds, they have a name on my phone. It's Jurickson Profar.
That a boy.
Why?
Because he was the number 1 prospect in baseball.
He was an A's guy.
Yeah.
And he was a Yankee killer, him and Tony Kemp.
Forgot you were an A's fan. All right.
C-Cat, who are your 2 picks?
I am full-on drunk on the Milwaukee Brewers Kool-Aid, man. They steal bases. They get on base at a high clip. Great ERA. I love the Brewers. The Brewers remind me of like a Nationals of 2019 type run.
Here's the thing. The Nationals, like, Colin, correct me if I'm wrong here. I feel like they
Scherzer and Strasburg.
Yes, and they weren't in the playoffs consecutive years before.
I remember they were under 500 in the middle of July that year.
And the Brewers always blow it. They have that stigmatism of just never being able to get to the World Series, even winning Colin, let's start with winning a playoff series, right?
Yeah, they were a game away a couple of years ago. Here's the problem with the Brewers is I think they have a little too much reliance in inconsistent guys in that 1 through 9. And you're going to bank on Churio having a big postseason. You're gonna bank on Adames, the strikeout king.
I believe in the power of friendship. Astros, Brewers, my World Series.
Yeah, and everybody loves the new manager, and everybody says we know how good their bullpen is, and that wins games in the postseason. But I don't know if I trust that 1 through 9. Nonetheless, little baseball today. That was a fun change of pace. Russo and Rizzo live here, ESPN 106.3. We send you off into Thursday Night Football. Jets, Patriots tonight on Amazon Prime. It's been a fun one. Glad to have C-Cat back. Healthy. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay focused. We'll catch you next time. It's Russo and Rizzo live here, ESPN 106.3.
Theo here. EDS is yes. You've heard me say that over and over. So I need you to keep this website in mind too. EDSIsYes.com. For the most trusted AC specialist here in Palm Beach County, EDSIsYes.com. For 24/7 support, EDS is a trained comfort specialist. It's hard to stop a train. There are so many reasons why EDS is